Hey, welcome to the Empowered Coach podcast. I'm your host, Richard Dale, and on today's podcast, my guest is Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
Hiya, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good. Lovely to meet you. So, on the podcast, I like to invite personal trainers and online coaches on to find out a bit about them and their journey. So, hopefully, they can share any insights and advice that might help other people in the industry too. So, I'd love
hmm
to find out a bit about you, what your business is, and like a bit about your journey would be amazing.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, I am quite a new coach, so I'm a second career changer. So my first career was like a corporate career in PR. Changed and did floristry for I say a little while. It was actually 12 years while my kids were little. And really, last summer was when I sort of properly got my qualifications. So I'd been studying alongside the floristry job up until then. So once I'd got my certificate in my hand, or even really in the lead up to when I knew that it was coming, I well, I first started thinking, well, I need to do a website really of some sort. And somewhere along the line, sort of got the idea of doing a digital course. So my background was PR and marketing. So I like that kind of creative side of it. And that sort of world wasn't completely foreign to me. So I thought, you know what? Yeah, why not just have a website? If I can create a digital product, which I can then kind of sell over and over, which is also quite an accessible price point for people, that would be great. So I sort of went all in and started building my first course, which is now built. And that is like an 8 week introduction to strength training. Yeah, at like quite a, I guess, sort of low ticket price, if you like. And then so that sort of helped me get all the various digital parts in place, I guess, because we're lucky now. I think there's loads of systems you can use that are sort of like what you see is what you get. Is it like WYSIWYG or something they call it? So I was looking at WordPress, but then I came across a new site called so I use System.io. So you can build your blog, you can build and host a course, you can host a community, it can do all your email and CRM. And obviously, it is quite a lot to get your head around, but at the same time, you don't need to be like a tech whiz. So I got all of that in place. And then I kind of realized actually I do want to do some like proper one-to-one coaching. It'd be good to be able to do like actual sort of PT as well. So I now have a service, like a bit more of a, I call it like a PT in your pocket, higher price point product, if you like, that sits alongside that lower ticket course. So I use Everfit, which I'm sure people in the industry are aware of. That's one of the newer ones. I find it super user friendly. So I have that to sell my kind of higher ticket, more like one-to-one, I guess, program. So at the moment, I am mostly working with people who randomly do happen to be local, and I do maybe see them like once a fortnight or once a month. So it's a bit of a hybrid thing at the moment. I do have one purely online client now in Nottingham. So yeah, my business is very much in its infancy, but I do sort of feel like I've got all the moving parts in place now, so that's quite good. But yeah, it's like such a steep learning curve. There is so much to get your head around, and I think my mantra for doing the business, and as well, I think it translates nicely to coach to when you're coaching clients, is that like done is better than perfect, like progress is better than perfection. Just like I think I read something once and I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to keep that in mind. And it was like, if you wait to launch your product, whatever it is, until it's perfect, you've launched it too late. Like if you're not, oh no,
Yeah.
it was like if you're not embarrassed by the first version of what you put out there, you launched too late, basically. So I try and keep that very much in mind. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of it in a nutshell of where I am at the moment.
Nice. I think everyone can relate to that. And more often than not, as coaches, we find ourselves in the perfectionist trap where we're like you say, it needs to be perfect. I remember like when I started and like the first things that I built out, I spent so long making sure the font was right, making sure the landing page was right. And then like nobody bought the thing. Like it was just a waste of time. I hadn't tested and like seen whether people actually wanted this thing. But I think it is super overwhelming for
hmm
new coaches when you come into the industry because it's like you're bombarded with ads and stuff of like, you need this funnel and you need this system and you need da 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 da, and everyone's giving you different advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the tech, there's always like, should I be using Trainerize? Should I be using Everfit? Should I be using my PT Hub? Or should I be using System.io or ClickFunnels? Or like, yeah, I guess my advice to people is just like pick one. Like they
Yeah.
all do the same thing pretty much. Pick one that
Yeah.
suits your price point, learn that.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you're struggling with it for any reason, like try something else. I use Trainerize and I use Go High Level. That's like the system IO variation, I guess, with the CRM and the emails and the funnels and
Yeah.
stuff in. The truth be told, at the start, you don't need a lot of that stuff. You need you just need the absolute basics. You don't need
Hmm.
to spend too much time getting all your funnels and your automations because that stuff is kind of like the nice stuff.
Yeah.
I've been in the trap of I love design. Like I studied design at college and like I like doing all the automations and designing pages and stuff. But I can spend hours and days on that stuff and actually it's not the stuff that moves the business forward.
Yeah.
We procrastinate on that stuff. So I definitely relate to everything that you said there.
Yeah.
Have you kind of chosen your lane in the online world in terms of like who you want to speak to, the sort of clients that you want to attract into your online or hybrid coaching business?
Yeah, I think, and it's come about really through, it's sort of quite come about kind of organically. It's, the kind of people, it's me basically before I started my journey. And then from everything I've kind of read and learned as well, it's like when you aren't maybe super qualified, that is really who you should maybe or can at least start by focusing on is just that person who is one step behind you in their journey. And that would really be, so my target market now really is, yeah, women like me who maybe know they need to start strength training, or maybe they don't even really know what they want to do. They just have reached like midlife. So I'm like 46 now. So, anyone from 35, 40 up, we're mums, we're busy, we work as well. Often, like a lot of them, people work full time as well. No, they don't just work. I say just work part time as if that makes it easier. But and they sort of, we just let yourself go. You lose yourself to motherhood and, family and perhaps aging parents and just all these conflicts. And you just sort of lose yourself a little bit. And then you suddenly wake up one day, or maybe it's a gradual awakening, and you realize like, I really need to focus on me again, not just for my like physical health, but for my mental health as well. And that was really the point I was at. And incidentally, at that same time, I did start retraining to become a PT. So I sort of went on my own journey of like rediscovering myself, getting back in shape again. And I was a little bit reticent about weights, to be honest, because that's not really something I'd done before. I was like, oh, gosh, it's going to be like really boring. Just like I've always done like classes and dancing and stuff like that. But I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. And you really can like see and feel the benefits. So that is really who I'm focused on helping, is just those people who are that step behind. They're just maybe reaching that point. I don't really know quite what they need to do, but they know they need to do something. So I'm aiming to introduce them to strength training in a way that actually fits within their life, because these are not, people who can spend hours at the gym each week or even maybe leave the house like that often. So my training really focuses on workouts at home at the moment. Obviously, as clients graduate, and maybe again as I graduate in my journey, I would like bolt on sort of gym programs. But at the moment, it's very much introducing people to strength training at home with dumbbells, and now gradually sort of introducing a few extra bits of kit like kettlebells and resistance bands. So yeah, that is it really.
Nice. 100% the right thing to do is to choose that person that was you 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Hmm.
Niching is one of the hardest things. I know, like when you're moving into the online coaching industry, it's like, oh, I want to work for everyone. But people make the mistake sometimes of just like, I will choose that niche over there because that will work well. It's like, I don't know, a guy in his 20s, like, oh, I'm going to work with busy mums. And like, busy mums are looking at like this guy, like, you have no idea what I'm going through right now. Whereas like you can emotionally resonate with everything that a busy mum experiences.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's super important to like really stay close to you and your identity.
Hmm.
Sort of struggles might your busy mum ideal client be facing right now? Like whether that's like emotionally or day to day, like what are their kind of pain points?
I think the main thing is they are like super busy, and it's like whether it's real or just perceived, it's just an absolute lack of time. Also, it's one of the biggest hurdles, and the first hurdles to get people over, I think, is a mindset shift as well. That because we feel guilty, for taking time out for you, but so it's trying to get that mindset shift of it's not time out. Like if you don't focus on this now and actually prioritize yourself in a way that is absolutely not selfish at all, and start seeing your health and fitness as like an exercise, and time spent, maybe even just doing a bit of meal planning or whatever, is absolutely crucial if you want to be the person, you be the mum and partner you want to be to your kids, like for now and well into the future. And especially for women as well, I think moving beyond this mindset that in order to get there, to get fit, it's just going to be a 6-week shred or a boot camp for a limited period of time until I lose weight and I'm not fat anymore, or whatever your goal is. And then it's the end. I think it's about trying to get people to see that actually there isn't an end point. You need to try and incorporate movement and strength and fitness within your life now forever. Like and people might be horrified by that at first if they hate exercise, but I think you, like, I love dancing, I love like climbing. Like, it doesn't have to be hours in a gym or classes. You obviously want to do a bit of strength training as well as that, but it could just be once or twice a week at home. Okay, the ideal is a bit more, but I'm trying to get them to a point where they see they just need to do what they can, and that does need to incorporate moving more and strength, and getting over this idea that like it's something that you'll get to later. Like, it's like, no, you need to do this now, or not to be dramatic, but you will pay for it later. And I can see it and I think this is maybe the point in life where you do have a bit of a wake up call, because you can see it reflected in your elderly parents. For example, like my parents are in their 80s now. My dad was in hospital over the summer because he was always a smoker. He was always really like buff when he was younger, because he did a manual job, but they've not really incorporated exercise into their lives. And yet he did smoke for past even when he got diagnosed. He's got COPD, and his quality of life now is just horrible, to be quite honest. It's horrible to see. And, you know, my mum's got like osteoarthritis, she's got scoliosis, she's got knee problems, she had a full knee replacement surgery. And again, she would argue that she's always been quite active, but they've never incorporated proper functional exercise in the way we know that it's like now so important. And I think, yeah, it's a big mindset leap coming to that conclusion, to see the overall bigger picture of why this is so important. Yeah, it's difficult, but I think people sort of come to it in their own time as well. Sometimes, like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like, they've got to at some point come to that realization themselves as well.
Yeah, I get the image of, you know, when you're on a plane and they've got the instructions, it's like put on your oxygen mask before you help others. And yeah, that mum guilt is, yeah, a real thing that people, I guess, unless you're a mum, you can't fully understand. But I've
Yeah,
trained, yeah, a few mums, and like one of the things that they have said is, I didn't realize how much of an impact it would have on the way I show up and how much more patience I've got throughout the day.
yeah,
I think like the mental health side of things are so important. Like the main reason like it's drilled in to me to exercise every morning, it's like mental health. It's like if I see if I don't have those healthy habits, how stressed I might feel, or how overwhelmed I might feel, or how much less patience I have. Whereas like if I'm up exercising first thing in the morning, that's like a mindful practice, and then I just feel energized for the day, and just like everything's easier, better relationships, stuff at work's easier, you know.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
I think it's hard for people to see that. They almost have to go through their own journey. You have to kind of entice people in with
Yeah,
like, you know, it is just a 6 week or a 90-day thing, because they don't want to think, oh, I need to do this for the rest of my life, because it
yeah,
feels painful for them. They have
yeah.
to kind of go through that journey of like getting to like it and feeling how they feel, you know?
Yeah. And I think the problem is as well, there's so much like information overload out there. And there are obviously lots of apps and programs or things that you can buy that are quite a low price point. But for me, it's like anything. It's like, okay, that app or whatever might only cost £8, £10 a month. But there is almost too much information on there. Like, are you ever going to actually get around to doing it? If you pay £10 a month for it, probably not. And there's like, and the way they market it as well is like, it sounds great. It's like access to thousands of workouts and billions of recipes. And it's like, what I'm trying to tell my clients is like, actually, I'm giving you less, because what you're paying more for is for someone who's going to cut through all that noise for you and go, actually, just focus on these few things. Like, just do this workout twice this week, and have try and like I say to my clients as well, like, just try and identify one new recipe that you're going to try this week or month. do it, make it once a month. You've got a lifetime to figure this out. If you gradually, like we talk about habit stacking, like if you gradually stack these habits on week by week, month by month, year by year, it might take you years to, get to maybe your like ideal weight or whatever you thought was your ideal before, but you have done it in a sustainable way. And I think as well, sometimes it is quite a big price point as well, maybe like more one-to-one coaching. And I'm really terrible with the kind of like handling objections and trying to do the hard sell, because I'm great with having like a motivational conversation with people. But when it comes to the hard sell and trying to go to someone, well, you don't want to spend like sort of £500 on this, but you probably spent £500 on clothes in the last few months to try and make yourself feel better in your body. And are you ever going to wear them, or are they going to sit in the wardrobe? Or you might have easily just spent £500 on a designer handbag, or, a few nice meals out, but you don't want to spend it on this. But it's like, oh, it's a lot of money, but it's like, what else have you spent it on? But I'm really rubbish at saying that to people. Maybe that gets better
Yeah.
with time. I don't know, but it is true. The thing is, it's true as well. It is absolutely true. Like if you look at it that way, yeah, coaching can be a bit of a higher price point, maybe, especially if you're doing it more one-to-one, but it's trying to sort of show people that it's money well spent, rather than
Yeah.
just trying to like maybe spend it on clothes to make yourself feel better, which they're not going to make you feel better at the end of the day, or actually do anything for you other than sort of perhaps aesthetically and the buzz of in that moment getting a new pair of shoes or whatever it is.
Yeah, so it's the dopamine hit, isn't it, of buying that thing that makes you feel
Yeah.
better for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I like the amount of times, and I know there's coaches watching back, they would have experienced this before, where they've handled I got someone on a call, seems really motivated, you drop the price, they're like, oh, I just really can't afford it right now. I love the sound of it, but I can't afford it. And then
Yeah.
next week, like you see them like, hey, just booked our family holiday to like wherever, and you're like, hang on a minute,
Yeah.
where did you get that £1,000 from?
Exactly. Yeah. It's really tricky.
Yeah, but sometimes like if the more people invest, the more invested they are, and that sometimes like there's little point trying to like sell them into a cheaper program when they're not that invested in actually making that lifestyle change, because they're probably not going to get the best results.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you
Exactly. No, I was just going to say the other thing that drives me mad as well, because I've been suckered into it myself, but it does come from a very human desire, I think, we want a quick fix. We don't want someone to say to us, you've got to exercise for a lifetime now, really, that's it. Or like you said, or it's going to actually, in reality, it's going to take you 2 years really to get like where you want to be physically, completely. No one really wants to hear that. There's, especially on social media now, like, there are so many, I mean, I'm sure it's the same for men, but obviously I see the ones for, like, that are targeted at me with supplements and creams and collagen and bone broth and God knows what else, and all the celebrity endorsed stuff as well. And it just gets you, you become, you click on one and then you'll just see it again and again, and you will almost become convinced. Like, I did it myself, like it was quite a long time ago now, but I was like, oh, I need to be taking collagen. Let's buy these like collagen things that you suck down each day, which taste like seaweed. And to be quite honest, probably don't do much at all. And through my studies and through meeting other people in the industry, I met a really good nutritionist at a networking event in London quite a few months ago now. And she was like, again, obviously it's quite expensive to go and see a nutritionist, but she was saying, really, yes, supplements can work, but they almost need to be prescribed for you. Like, if you're going to start spending some serious money on supplements, because let's face it, some of them are like, it's subscriptions, it's like £30, £40 a month. It's not a negligible amount. If you are going to spend that money and you are feeling like you've got all these symptoms which really are not going to be addressed, you take it back to basics first. Again, people don't want to do the hard work and just eat well and try that first. If you've taken it back to that, you eat well, you still got these horrible perimenopausal or other symptoms. Don't just start haphazardly getting convinced and self-diagnosing. Like, you might as well spend the money, go to a nutritionist, and you will get prescribed supplements for you. But again, it's like another initial outlay of quite a lot to a nutritionist. We just want that quick fix. We see it and we're fed it over and over again, multiple times a day, and we become convinced that that's the answer. And so that, now having my eyes opened a bit more to that, and every time I see sort of adverts for supplements and stuff on social media, I really just prey on all those insecurities. That sort of drives me a bit nuts.
So what's your opinion on the most controversial thing in the fat loss market at the moment? Wegovy, the fat loss injections. Some people are for
I
it
don't
and
know. That's a
some
really
are
hard one
against it.
because yeah, I mean, again, like this is obviously I'm not like a medical expert, and they from everything I've kind of read and digested on that topic so far, they absolutely have got their place. But again, because people can just buy it, it's just preying on people's insecurities and desire for a quick fix and not to have to do the work. Which I'm not going to say that that again, like nobody especially if you're suffering mental health issues alongside that, it's hard. It's really, really hard. So I think there's a place for them, but the fact that they're so worryingly widely available, I'm not sure that that's a good thing when people can self-diagnose and just buy them without any kind of actual medical diagnosis from a doctor and medical prescription. I think, yeah, I suppose that's what I'm trying to say. I think maybe they should be limited. So you should have to get a prescription for them.
Yeah,
But you
100%.
don't
I
have to,
think
do you? I don't think you do have to. You can just buy them. That's it. Like anything. Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it? I
that is
find
quite
it
mad.
crazy that someone would just buy something off the internet and inject it into their body and just like trust that it's gonna like do something.
Yeah, it's just desperation. It preys on desperation and
It
insecurity,
does.
which again is just like that. It's really not ethical either. But
No.
yeah,
And and it just creates that same cycle, I think, for those people that are going to be buying it off the internet. They'll lose some weight, they'll come off it, they'll put the weight back on. It's like it's not breaking any habitual, patterns that
yeah.
they need to. Nice. Love to know social media. What's your bugbears about social media?
Its very existence. I don't like. I have a very love-hate relationship with it. Like, so my first career was like public relations. So the creative part of me does like it. Like part of me sort of likes creating content, but then the other side is like you just can feel like you're speaking into the void sometimes because obviously there's a lot of competition out there. So I think the fact that we're so reliant on it now from a business perspective and from a personal perspective as well, and you can just go down such a rabbit hole either when you're researching for business or using it for business, researching for business, or whether you're using it just socially. It again, it's like, yeah, I've got a very love-hate relationship with it. It's got some great points in terms of bringing people together, helping get information out there, but it's definitely got some bad points as well. So yeah, I'm
Mm.
very, very torn. If I could live without my smartphone, I would quite happily try and live without it, but unfortunately that is not the reality of today's world. So yeah,
Mm.
very love hate relationship with social media.
Yeah, I'm probably more hate. It's I think everyone's attention is obviously there, and that's why we're here, right? It's like
Hmm.
because it's the easiest way to get in front of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd quite happily live on a farm, in the middle of nowhere with no phone,
Yeah. It's like,
and not have to look at other people and feel not good enough.
yeah.
Because that's generally what it does to you when you scroll. You start seeing everyone living their best life, and you're like, oh God, wish I was doing that. Wish I was that far ahead.
Yeah.
I'm super mindful about my use and exposure of social media because I do think it has a negative impact on you and your business when you start comparing yourself to everyone else. So I
Yeah,
really try
absolutely.
and like give my advice to other coaches of like use it for inspiration,
Hmm.
but almost like, right, I'm going to work now, take notes, this is, oh, okay, that's a good bit of content. How can I use that? Don't doom scroll and just mindlessly scroll because that inevitably leads like to a non-productive place where you don't feel like posting anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think the tide is changing hopefully a little bit and people do appreciate more authentic content a little bit more. That's certainly what I'm trying to do. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I have got the time or like bandwidth mentally to do anything other than turn up sort of authentically and really. But I do also think it's really, really important because there's so many sort of filtered images out there, especially for like young girls and women as well. I think to see people in all their sort of unfiltered glory hopefully does provide a bit of an antidote to that. And we are a bit more think people do realise a bit more now how heavily filtered and sort of things are, and that like people, it's not actually people's reality that they're always presenting. So I like to think that even further on in my journey as a coach, even if I did have, more time and resources to make arguably, let's say, better content, that I would still try and keep it real and not use loads of filters and stuff because yeah, quite frankly, what's the point? It's a lie. And hopefully people I think do realise that a little bit more now.
Yeah, the world definitely needs more authentic coaches. So keep showing up as your authentic self. That's how you build resonance, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for jumping on and sharing your journey. I'll put your social links below and people can check out your page and follow along with your journey or reach out if they're interested in working with you. And thanks for coming on.
Great, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.